And we are live. This is history. This is happening as I speak. This is Stone Soup Poetry's 50th anniversary. And I am very grateful for everyone who can gather today. My name is Chad Parento. Jack Powers was doing Stone Soup Poetry back on May Day in 1971, 50 years ago to this day. He passed away in 2010. The legacy of Jack lives on in gatherings even like this, and gatherings like in various churches,
I just
galleries, and what have you. This is this is an amazing gathering, and more people are coming through the virtual door as I speak, and I am eternally grateful for that as well. Please don't take me blocking you as an insult. I'm just making sure that there's no static. Thank you, Gloria, for coming. Thank you, Jason, for coming. We're going to get the open mic started straight away, and then we're going to have the feature by by Deta Galloway, who's filming and ability to perform today for us live. You might recall last year she wasn't able to do that she wasn't able to get on Zoom, but she is able to do it now, thanks in large part to Toni Bee, the master organizer of the Cambridge Poetry Mashup, which many of you have already gone to. I do appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate everyone who's been supportive of poetry, because this can be a very overwhelming month for people as far as poetry. We can be poetried out. As a matter of fact, it's May 1st, the one day after Poetry Marathon. We should all be poetried out, and I should be poetried out because I did a 30-day poetry challenge, but I wrote a poem last night and I'm doing this today. So clearly I'm on drugs, but I'm also not poetried out. Either way, it works for me. So thank you all very much. And let's, without any further ado, without any further stoppage, without any further dilly-dallying, get on the open mic. Our first participant has been a longtime contributor to many Boston poetry area zines, a Wilderness House Poetry Review, Spoonful, the Oddball magazine. She has also been an open mic participant for many years in many different venues, but I like to think of her as a Stone Souper at heart. At least that's my fantasy. I think everyone's a Stone Souper at heart, even the Cantab. Anyway, let's go on to Miss Shannon O'Connor.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, how's everyone? I want to say thank you to Chad and everyone for 50 years of Stone Soup. It's a really long time. It is, you think about 50 years, but it really isn't a long time. And I'm going to read one poem right now. This poem is called Solo Transatlantic Flight. I went up in a plane with Amelia. I asked her questions like a newspaper interview. I asked her why she loved to fly, and she said she couldn't live without the power of the plane beneath her hands. I asked her if she had any advice for people today, and she said, chase your dreams until it kills you, because you'll die anyways, and you might as well die doing what you love. She started to sing, climb every mountain. And I said, is that from Man of La Mancha? She said, no, silly, it's the sound of music. She sang, to dream the impossible dream. I said, Man of La Mancha and the Sound of Music weren't around in your lifetime. She said, everything that exists has always existed. There's no such thing as time. We flew in the plane going high through the clouds. The plane started to go down, but I knew I was in good hands with Amelia as a pilot. She held on to the controls, and I let go of my misconceptions of right and wrong, up and down. We are never in control. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon, for historically being the first poet to read for the second half of the century of Stone Soup. So you are the first reader to kick us off for another 50 years. God help me. And God help anyone around me if I'm literally doing this 50 years for another 50 years. And also thank the wonders of modern medicine, or curse them, because that means people like me are going to be alive. Anyway, let us move on to the next person on the open mic. Up next, we have one of the many people of our online family who have joined us and may not have ever joined us if they weren't online and taking part of amazing Zoom calls like this, of which proliferated very extensively when the virus hit. And I'd like to think this version of Stone Soup will at least be around so we don't lose those people. That would be a very big shame.
That has to go down.
Okay, so someone just tried calling in, so I think that might be Jan Rowe, so that's wonderful. And we are going to go on to the next person on the open mic, Mr. John Wezek.
Thanks, Chad. With Michael Collins's death earlier this week, I thought I would continue on with the theme of space exploration. And so I'm just going to read the opening of a story that I wrote called Franklin's Reach. Early this morning, above the Mojave Desert, Omnidyne Aerospace's Delta craft flew out of Earth's atmosphere to the edge of space. The TV screen showed a white space plane trailing a huge orange plume of rocket exhaust. The blurred, shaky image could only have been shot through a powerful telephoto lens. Pending FAA approval, the Delta craft will be the first commercially developed spacecraft to sell rides to the public. Omnidyne's spokesman, Marissa Gillespie, says seats could be available as early as late summer. Ticket prices will start at $200,000. The picture changed to a view of a batter's back from behind home plate. "Hey, turn that back," Mitch Connolly yelled. The batter knocked the pitch into the outfield. "Yeah!" 3 patrons stood from their tables and cheered. Fists pumped the air. "Sorry, Mitch," the Oak Barrel's bartender said. "Looks like you've been overruled." "That's just what's wrong with this country." Mitch sipped his beer and wiped the foam from his graying Mark Twain mustache with the back of his hand. "No one gets excited about science anymore. I mean, where's the vision? When I was a kid, we dropped everything to watch the Apollo 8 circle the moon or Neil Armstrong's first step. People had been dreaming of that day for thousands of years. After we went a few times, what do? We abandon it. It's a goddamn crime. That's what it is. Waste of money, if you ask me." Carl Physics wore a faded plaid work shirt and sat on the stool to Mitch's right. "Could have made better use of that money here at home." He took a last drag off his cigarette and stubbed it out in the ashtray. "You see, that's just the attitude that's turning America into a third world nation. Even if the dream of going to other planets doesn't float your boat, look at it in terms of economics." "So you're saying we need another government welfare program for engineers?" "No," Mitch slapped his palm on the bar. "That's the beauty of the space plane. It's privately funded. All I'm saying is we should take an interest." "I don't know." Carl lit another cigarette. $200,000 sounds awfully steep for an hour ride. "Are you kidding? You get the chance to step off this planet, something only a handful of people in history have done. You'd see Earth's curvature and the blackness of space. Who knows how an experience like that would change you?" "So you'd spend 200,000 K for a ride into space then?" "Absolutely," Mitch said. "If I had it, that is." All but a few of the bar's patrons had switched their attention from the heated exchange back to the baseball game after a few seconds. One, however, strained to hear every word from his seat in a booth by the window. Art Franklin wasn't the kind of man to sit on a bar stool. Even when it annoyed everyone in the crowded room, he took an entire booth or table. That night, he did something he'd never done. As the stranger whose ideas captivated him left, Art approached. "Do you really think a flight into space would be worth it? The $200,000, I mean?" Mitch stopped outside in the front door and examined the slight, balding man with plastic rimmed glasses who'd stopped him. "How much would the invention of agriculture have been worth to the Neanderthals? What about the Wright brothers, Chuck Yeager, or Neil Armstrong? What would a ride into space have been worth for them?" In a motion he'd practiced many times before, Mitch gazed at the sky. "We're at a tipping point, my friend. Humanity's future is up there, not squabbling over petty creature comforts on a tiny rock circling an insignificant star in a forgotten corner of the Milky Way." "I think so too," Art whispered. "Well, I'm glad someone around here can see the long term. What was your name again?" Art Franklin." He shivered in the spring air that was too cold for shirt sleeves and too warm for a jacket. "Hey, listen, Art, Mitch moved closer. You think you can loan me a few bucks? I'm heading over to Paladin's and need some ones to tip the dancers. Maybe you'd like to come too. That Wendy's got a hell of a rack on her. Let me tell you. Art looked at his watch. Maybe he could go for just an hour and still have the time he needed, but it was already past 9 o'clock. Afraid I can't tonight. I've got to be at work early. He took a 20 from his wallet. Thanks, Art. Mitch snatched the bill from Art's hand. It's been a real pleasure meeting you. See you around the bar sometime. And I'll leave it at that. It's been published online. I'll try to find a link for it. And it's also in my book, The Alchemist's Grandson Changes His Name.
Very nice. Thank you very much, John. And moving up next, did Minion Ariel King leave? I think she may have left. Damn it. Oh, there she is. Oh, so you're not mute. You're not unmuted. There you are.
Here I am. When I read, you won't be able to see me in that, but then I'll be back.
That's the thing. I was looking for your name, but I didn't realize that that your picture was up, that your video was on. So I'm like looking, where's MIG? Okay, so Minion Ariel King is a publisher, the brain behind many imprints such as Hidden Charm Press, Telltale Chapbooks, and also a poet, memoirist, what have you. She's worn all the hats that there are to wear in literary Boston. Let's welcome up Minion Ariel King.
Thank you. This was written on April 23rd, 2016. April 23rd is Shakespeare's birthday. Be prepared for bad singing. When morning lovers cry, dig, if you will, a picture of you and I engaged in a kiss. Imagine me consumed by college girl insecurity and dragged with the promise of free popcorn, washed down with a crazy large gulp of root beer. All but 3 admin support staff at the smaller doctor's office where I filed charts for $4 in swing sweet specialties and met a dying poet I had not known of before then. On my way from oncology to appease the grumbling GI receptionist, troubled by backup no amount of magnesia could resolve, I listened to her happy marriage with career blues flow. She eventually left to be a prison guard. I worked 20 hours around classes dulled by first readings at girls' Latin school, where literature had been felt deep in my gut, taught by enraptured former nuns. The sweat of your body covers me. I'd left the movie theater 2 hours later, a changed person, a socially misfitted black and tan rock fan, finally connected to a royal pipeline. Somebody gets me, somebody smart, sassy, sexy, and loving his deep purple self, making me a bit less alone in a world that's so cold. Oh, it's so cold. Maybe I was just like my father, and this curious stranger, now brother too, thought that seemed oxymoronic, awake to hear a neighbor's 4 a.m. alarm as the birds cry out. I stop missing sleep. Oh, purple one, feel I tremble inside. You got my butterflies all tied up. Don't make me chase you. To a love poet, this is what it sounds like when love cries.
Very awesome.
Did I
We could see,
lose you?
and we could see, I could see you the whole time. So that was great. Thank you very much, Minion. Let me.
You can see me, but so
Yes.
I see nothing right now but a rolling ball. Sorry, I'm laughing because that was not a Shakespearean thing. Which means I've written 2 Prince poems. I just saw that on Gmail that it said the Prince poem, and I just read the wrong poem, which has no relevance to Shakespeare, in other words.
We still liked it.
Well, Prince Lewis died in April of 2016, and I wrote
Yes.
a Shakespearean sonnet. So that's what I thought I was reading. I didn't even look at the poem. I find that hilarious. So if I was laughing through the poem, I'm like, this was it. Anyhow, thank you.
It's good bragging rights to have a Prince poem and another Prince poem.
And
so-
another one, you need a backup in this life.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Minion. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't seen her for a while. Then we're going to have a little spoken word and musical interlude, courtesy of Miss Blackbird. Welcome back, Miss.
Hey everybody, how are you guys? Yes, I have been gone for a minute because I am still. Hi, Miss Mignon, how are you? And I loved your poem. It was awesome. It was great. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been here because I am still working on my album and my book as well. So, and I'm trying to find somebody to help me get it published. If you know anybody, Chad, let me know. Because it's ready. Like I'm ready to go now. Just gotta do the album. Like I just have like a few more recordings to do, and then I'm all set to go for July. So I am really truly blessed to be here on the 50th anniversary. Like wow, that is amazing. I came into Stone Soup like what, 2016 or 17ish, I think, and I've been blessed to have been a guest host, I was featured here before, and so yeah, so I'm happy to be here and very very happy to see everybody, especially Miss Deta and Toni Bee. I haven't seen him in like forever, so let's go. All right. I'm sure everybody knows Harriet Tubman. So this is the latest poem that I've written. Well, co-written. This was actually written by my boyfriend, Jadi. So shout out to him. Okay. Who is Harriet Tubman? Alone in the darkness, searching for freedom, and the moonlight with a heart of gold, traveling in woods afar with no guide to follow, the mighty North Star. Alone in the dark, searching for freedom, she took charge and led many men, women, and children who were sick, beaten, and scared on a journey so bizarre, alone in the cold. She became in tune, energized by God and her ancestors. Days and times, dreams appeared to her. Heavenly messages leading the way that made her wise to the ways of mankind. Her story lives on as you if you're teaching history and equality. And we know it's true. She paved the way for many leaders of every culture, of every class. In this great future, we can't forget our past. She was the strongest asset and ultimate warrior. Alone in the dark, with a heart of gold that shines, the most glorious. Her home was torn down because she used the underground roads, giving hope to the hopeless. And don't forget, she freed over 700 slaves and never lost a single person, spreading nothing but truth. Who is Harriet Tubman? Once was called Minty. Harriet Tubman is a force. She is free. She is a queen. Harriet Tubman is in you, and she's also in me. Her last words: I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Blackbird. And let's see who we have next on our open mic. Yes, we're going to bring up one or two of our phone callers. We do have people who have been joining us by phone exclusively. And a couple more people have joined us this way over the last couple of weeks. Let's welcome up first someone who was a longtime participant of Stone Soup from the gallery days on 106 Prospect Street to the parish church in across from Proc Street in downtown Boston to now here today. Let's welcome up Laurel Lambert. Press *6, Laurel, and you'll be back with us. There you go.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Laurel Lambert, and I'm just going to read a short poem. Walking in a park, barefoot, on a hot summer day, smoking a cigarette and drinking a soda. I look at the trees. I look at the trees and I say to myself, tree standing tall. I was carrying my moccasins in my right hand. It seemed to me that everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And I know I mentioned trees. I walked into the grass and hugged one. I was walking barefoot in the park, carrying my moccasins, drinking a soda, and smoking a cigarette. All I know is everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And the tree just looked at me, but it was beautiful. All the trees in the park are beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laurel.
Hello.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Laurel. That was great. I'm going to mute you now. We're going to go to our next phone caller. This person has been with us since the beginning, nearly since the beginning of our first call, our first official successful call, which was coincidentally was the 49th anniversary call. And she's been joining by phone nearly every week ever since. I'm going to ask her to unmute by pressing *6, and we'll welcome up Nancy Dodson.
Peaceful solitude, quiet, quiet goes my mind. Then comes inner peace of God in prayer. Calm, calm my feelings. Steady, steady my thoughts. For deep abiding peace, with one imagining peace and calm within.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And let's see who we have. We got applause emojis from John Wiesek and others. That is wonderful. I'm so glad you can still be with us. And let's see if we can get an interlude from the person in charge of the feature today, Toni Bee. Toni Bee is Cambridge Poet Populist Emeritus. She is the founder of the Cambridge Poetry Mashup, which has been going on all this month. It's going to continue to next month with a special youth performance on May 15th. We'll be posting information on that. And she is also the author of 22 Again poetry collection. She's been around the place, and her work has been included she's been included in the anthology Best Indie Lit New England Volume 2. Let's welcome up Miss Toni Bee. Who might be in the bathroom right now. So we'll put that aside and let's bring up. Sorry, Carol. I know you said you weren't ready to read, but that was 6 readers ago, and I don't know if I have anyone else. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who's coming up now has been with us since the very beginning of our online phase. And I'm so thrilled that she can be with us as part of this. Let us welcome up Miss Carol Weston.
Good day. Margaret Nairn says happy birthday to Stone Soup. It regrets that she couldn't be with us today. Today is Floralia in Rome, so the celebration of flowers. I was with, let's see, I met Jack in what, 71? At the Charles Street Universalist Church, where Raphael de Grutela put on, and Allen Ginsberg stood on my right, and we all read from the work of the jazz poet Steve Jonas. And that's how I met Jack. And he said, "You can do anything you want." My God, it went to my head. And he said, so I did, and I memorized Anglo-Saxon and Vicious Heather the Thorsh, or I don't know. Anyway, a marvelous thing, because he said I could do anything I wanted. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so I want to start with the book that Jack, Spirals, Whorls, Sutures, Septa, and I'll start with an excerpt from The Poet Expects of Himself, the essay. Myopic and with a sense of wonder, the poet descends into the darkness. His vision is only as long as the channel that he digs. His myopia in the darkness will teach him by touch the universal laws of existence. On reaching water, if he reaches it, he will, as it were, break through to the source of communal perception, and light will stream into the dark channel of his personal discovery. This is the moment of the voice. This is the beginning of what the poet expects of himself. Jack's favorite poem that in this book that he printed in 78, Spirals, Whorls, Sutures, Septa, his favorite poem. In the dark bowl of my soul danced a very slight light. When I blew off my lid, I blew out the light. When they came to my aid, they bent over the brim, extending their candles to light me again. Now, the race was written to Steve Jonas because I wanted to run with him, but I didn't dare ask. This is selections from the race. It is fertile, the land we did not have to walk far to find. We needed only to stay still in our mind's eye to feel the flooding come across the barrenness. We needed only to look beside us to find the others resting so in their stillness. The race is operating through the midnights. Look out your windows. You can see the figures, giant size, that move slow motion through the lamplight, and something haunting in their rhythm and their sureness, and something peculiar in their vulnerability of slowness. Something strange about their flesh, that everyone goes out their door to put a sword through, and it does not scream, but it keeps moving. The procession of isolate eyes on the highway, bearing gifts to no destination, having no rest. They come to a doorway, they recognize it. It has been taught to them through the endless midnights, and the stove will be on, and what they brew there is a giant rest of a drink, spreading warmth, burning along the tongue like brandy made of fire of many colors. And the chairs that rock there of fire of our fine wood carved with many faces, and the ultimate shapes lie on the table, and the masks are taken off, and the flesh returns to wholeness, and the sun shines boundless and restoring through the window, and the eyes open wide of many colors, for the lenses have been lifted off them, and the books are there, blank embroidered books waiting to be filled, and the pens are silver filigree feathers from the market on the bridge over the slow river. There is time now to let the tears flow, and the songs rise, and the pens flow, long as the breath comes in, and the limbs dance, and the water, air, and fire remain. This one is the walking stick to John. At home, in woods we wander, the walking stick guiding us along branches, along paths, along riches of minds. We lie through scared nights, our breaths drawn up into starlight. We mount mountains. We look down, collecting. We look up by sunlight, by snowlight, by snow spectrum. Our feet can find by dark the path. Our feet can find by dark the feel of path by night, the crease of land, our hand in hand. And last, electromagnetic spectrum. I would like to dedicate it to John because he would teach me science in the morning before I went to teach it to the students at the Chestnut Hill School. Electromagnetic spectrum. I drink the light of the visible spectrum and the invisible ultraviolet and infrared. Heave me into these waves from the sun and other stars where I may burn, transform. Electromagnetic spectrum, you are part of my breathing. I lie down in your color. I bend forward into you. I lean against your light. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. One of the things I intend to do this month is release a presentation that happened. It was recorded by Bill Perot back in the day, a presentation with myself, Carol Weston, Dan Shanahan, and James Van Looy, done on May 3rd of 2013. Stone Soup Poetry retrospective, and all three, Carol, Dan, and James were the primary speakers, just talking about Stone Soup history. And that sounds like, if to you that sounds like an amazing day, it was. And I did find the recording for that I never loaded up to YouTube, but I will for this month to keep Stone Soup on the brain for everybody this year and this month. Up next, Toni, are you back?
I never left.
Okay.
We're just sitting here listening.
Oh, I didn't know if you want. I asked if you wanted to read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's.
We've been enjoying and watching you.
Do I have to read?
We want you to read.
I
But
can't
here,
sing.
okay. Let me see if I can rewind. Let me do, well, you don't have to do whatever, you can do whatever you want, but we'd love you to perform. All right, do I have to rewind and do the entire introduction I did for you about 5
Please
minutes
don't.
ago? Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. It was simple this time.
I am
promise.
out of the air traveler. I have arriven on this horrible, terrible earth, but I'm glad I'm here because I can breathe. I don't want to read a poem. I talk poetry. I am poetry. I need to write more poetry. Tom Daley told me that. And I hope you like this outfit I'm in. I chose the black body for my time here on earth. Happy birthday, Stone Soup. I just want to say I'm glad that was alive, that I found it, that I was embraced, and that it's my poetic home. It has given me, it has provided a stage, and so I can just do whatever I wanted with my merry voice. So, am I poetried out somewhat? I have 5 minutes. I could just sit here and wax for 5 minutes, huh? But that wouldn't be too poetic. There's a song that's been on my heart. I have poetry mashup, and it's with poetry, song, and storytelling abound. That's my company, and that's things that I've always done. And so I think there's a song that's been ringing in me. And can you put people on mute? Because I hear them.
Oh, let me see who's on.
I'm just going to start. Give us this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all of my needs according to your riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. To go from here and share this love you gave to me, to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and faith, so they can be free like me. Be free like me. Be free like me. Be free.
Beautiful.
I just want to sing because there are really many expectations from Black poet. I mean, people might have heard that song by Whitney Houston. I remember that song in the 80s by Niecy or Denise Williams. It touched my heart. I'm sitting in Roxbury now, in the very place that I grew up, surrounded by my family, where my family grew. And this song has been coming to me. There was a woman named Roma DeRosa. All this connects back to Deta, because there was a woman named Roma DeRosa. And when I was a little girl, Deta came to my house with Napoleon. And I remember them coming, and I remember her having a hoop in her nose. And me looking up at this woman, marveling at her and wondering why people had an issue with this energy, this supernatural energy that chooses to expose itself. So that's why I sung this song. Because songs are poems with a little more dash, a little more punch, because it has rhythm. And then that rhythm can take on a whole new meaning of its own. So I'm just glad to be here in Roxbury and to sing this poem to you. I'm glad, praise God, that I even have a voice good enough to sing. And that's the culprit, you see, that's the culprit. Deta's the culprit. And it's just wonderful how spirit and togetherness came back. When I was a little girl, and even up to my first, whenever it was revealed that Deta was Stone Soup, wow, what a connection. So all of this poetry work that we are doing, it can be spiritual. It can be spiritual. It can be significant. But I mean, there are so many spiritual connections in life. That's why you're looking right now at Deta. That's why I'm sitting here in this place in Roxbury. I wouldn't be surprised if one of my Brooks aunts lived in this very apartment. Nothing is for coincidence. Deta has been there since the beginning, Deets, of Stone Soup Poetry.
Maybe about 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah, that's about the beginning. That's about the beginning. So I just love how the Lord, or if you don't want the Lord, the spirits, or the Holy Spirit, the spirit of truth brings us all back together. But I'm just going to stop waxing poetic. I just wanted to give a word of praise and give a word of thanks, Chad, for you continuing on and giving us voice and just making the connection of the spirit and connectedness, which I might be bumbling through, but I don't care because I'm a poet. Thank you for letting me speak. Check out poetrymashup.org. That's where all my ish is. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you very much, Toni. I am very humbled and very appreciative of your words. I can only move, all I can do is move on to our new generations of people who have joined us on Stone Soup, one of which is coming up to reading right now. Thanks to the people who have just joined us. I hope there are more to come. There are some people who came in and then left, and I hope they come back. The next person up is the founder of Oddball Magazine, now known as the Oddball Foundation, an organization that has not only published some collections of poetry from various people who are part of Stone Soup, but have also are also working towards various mental wellness causes, and are still continuing to publish poets, artists at oddballmagazine.com. Oh, good. He put the video on. He figured out I was talking about him. Good. So let's welcome up his new book, Train of Thought, Train of Thought 2, Thought Harder, or just Train of Thought 2 should be coming out anytime now. Let's welcome up.
Thought Harder.
Yes. Mr. Jason
Okay.
Knight.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for Stone Soup's 50th anniversary. Holy crap. It's a family program, so I said crap. And normally I say shit, because that's amazing. 50 years of amazing poetry from Jack Powers and then Chad Parenteau, still making it happen after all these years. I would play Paul Simon Still Crazy after all these years, but I don't know it. So I'm going to play something else. Can you hear me okay? All right, Chad, this is for you, buddy. Ready?
I don't know, but keep
I don't
going.
know. All right. I was going to sing it. All right.
Keep going.
All right. All right, no, I'm just going to read something instead. Jagged Thought, 369 PSA. I got a deadline, so I will write this. I'll ignite a passion that is lit. I will try and it's not there, I know. Sorry, I'm just kidding. That was the Dead Kennedys. I got a deadline, so I'll write this. I will ignite a passion if it is lit. If it's not there, I know I will write it. I will find it. Why? So I can ignite us. Let's talk for a second because I have a platform to do it. The system is broken, the mental health division. I'm trying to improve it. You can get behind me. Here are a few ways to do it. Get behind your local peer movement. If you don't know what it is, learn about it. Read psychiatric survivor news outlets. If there are petitions about ending imprisonment and forced treatment, learn about it and sign them. If your friend is having a hard time hearing voices, or is in an altered state, respect it. Be curious, and if you can relate, then relate. Don't turn away from people when they are in the midst of madness. Use understanding in a trauma-informed lens. If you aren't person-centered and you have a chance to be, then do it. If you don't know what that means when you speak, if you put an illness before me, don't do it. I'm not bipolar or schizoaffective. That was a selected diagnosis by a misdirected prescription pusher who, instead of listening with a trauma-informed lens, decided to push meds on me 20 years ago. Now I'm hearing those other options. If there's a chance to change perspective around someone who's stuck in the disease model, who prefers the prescription bottle or the hospital, talk to them. It's you and I and everyone else. We need to change the system and force institutionalism. Because when I'm in an altered state, I want another option than restraint and hospitalization. I am more than just a patient. I am more than just a patient, but I'm losing my patience. I'm not just someone in your medication line. 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 Doctor. Don't you know? 50 years ago, Stone Soup was born by a man named Jack Powers. Now there's a guy named Chad Parenzo, who's my associate editor for Oddball Magazine. Such is progress, the stars once more. Now that we've got the neutron bomb, nice and quick and clean and get things done. And the property with no misvalued property. Once we can time and this is the good part. Hold on. Kill the boy. Kill the boy. Kill the boy. Happy birthday, Chad. Happy birthday, Stone Soup. Happy birthday, 50 years of Stone Soup, the longest open mic in the history of Boston, Massachusetts. Good job.
Thank you, Jason. Lee Lateef and Chris Robbins called me. They want their everything back. That was amazing. And we've had many open micers in the world, and you're one of them. So thank you very much. And you are one of them. Very touching, Jason. Thank you so much. And we have up next. And now for someone quieter. I don't know who it is yet, but whoever I pick, that's going to be true. Here we go. It is true. Let's welcome up Miss Mary Jennings.
Thank you, Chad. I just finished this one last night, and it's one of one of the poems I've put in my incantation series. Your real self. Your real self is meant to be feisty and off limits to those who assign you the role of play toy. Stymied they would be that you don't comfort them in their moments of grift and finkery. Don't be mystified when they change face and slam your name, falsely charging you with the rift in their family. You are free to shed the skin they want to keep you in. You are free to shed the skin they want to keep you wrapped in, tethering you, ranking you, anything but thanking you for the love that you are, your real self, feisty love. Thank you. And happy anniversary, Stone Soup.
Thank you, Mary. Who do we have next?
Unmute, Chad.
I did mute. I did unmute. Who do we have next? Thank you, Mary. Who do we have next? Yes. Jan Rowe. Are you able to unmute yourself?
I think I'm unmuted. Sorry, we're having the computer problems. That thing up there from Holland.
Okay.
We're not working. But anyway, I have this poem actually by Robert Frost. You know, Robert Frost was considered a failure as a farmer. He didn't see why it was necessary to milk cows at the same time every day. Also, as a writer, I don't know if he published before he was in his 40s, if that, okay? So also, I like this one, his Putting in the Seed, because it reminds me of Foghorn Leghorn and Chicken Hawk, which are some of my favorite cartoons, Foghorn Leghorn and Chicken Hawk. And why it's related to this is when peas, if anybody has ever planted peas, when they come up out of the ground, they look something like Chicken Hawk. I mean, just the movement, okay? So that's where that comes from. And here it is, Robert Frost, Putting in the Seeds. You come to fetch me from my work tonight when supper's on the table, and we'll see if I can leave off bearing the white, soft petals fallen from the apple tree. Soft petals, yes, but not so barren quite, mingled with these smooth beans and wrinkled peas. And I'll go along with you before you lose sight of what you came for and become like me, slave to a springtime passion for the earth. How love burns through the putting in the seed, on through the watching for that early birth, when just as the soil tarnishes with weed, the sturdy seedling with arched body comes. I'm sorry. The sturdy seedling with arched body comes, shouldering its way and shedding the earth crumbs. Thank you, Robert Frost.
Thank you very much.
You're muted, Chad.
I don't know how that happened. Okay. Oh, I tried to start my video and instead I muted myself again. Well, let's see who we have going on next. Tom Daley must really not know why he's here now. He just came in doing he sat through a Dead Kennedy's rendition. He must feel like Henny Youngman going on after the Beastie Boys, but here we are. And Tom Daley is, well, I don't have to tell you who Tom Daley is. He's one of the more renowned instructors, poets, performers, playwrights that we know and can shake hands with in the Boston, Cambridge area on either side of the Mason-Dixon line of the Boston poetry scene, slam, page, stage, what have you. And that's 3 lines. But anyway, it's great. We just heard him on the poetry mashup. It's great to have him now for Stone Soup's 50th. Let's welcome up Mr. Daley.
Chad, thank you for that ridiculously nice introduction. And I want to thank you also for maintaining the flame of Stone Soup all these years. I know that you took over from Jack in a pretty difficult situation where Jack was kind of unwinding, shall we say, and you were very noble and gracious to him and to everybody who he'd brought into Stone Soup, and you continued the tradition of an extremely open and welcoming community. And thank you for all your labors over the years. This is a poem called Reversing Paul Revere's Direction on the Minuteman Bike Path. Through moon shadow divested of its dash, half helmetless and pliant, we ride the bike path as late sap lifts its way to the stars. The dark closes around us with its scruffy palms, then opens over fields that rear themselves to forever. All along the tactful asphalt, confessions, questions goading and receding. Do the stars, long harmonizing their own collapses, mind that they light up both our blemishes and our spokes? Now we are civilians tramping over last year's mulberry stain, between rabbits that skitter near our one wish, to be doused in the spring night's blaze, escaping the cool conclusion that camaraderie trumps infatuation, that hormones are nothing more than weekend hoodlums who scoff at our lumens, at our fenders brushing and whining, the planet's dinning, the bike's easy saddle saying, there is nothing safer in this world. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your almost absurd praise yourself, Tom. And I'm glad you could join us today. I'm glad for everyone who was able to join us today. I'm glad for this next person coming up on the open mic. We're going to welcome him up before we get to the musical interlude and then the closer. I think we've peaked for our open mic for at least this portion of it. And hopefully, I originally set ourselves up for 3 hours because I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, because last year everyone was so desperate for interaction with reaching out. When I announced Stone Soup Poetry's 49th anniversary on Zoom, we broke records. I think we would have had to turn people away at the door if if they were actually live and not just with us on Zoom calls. So we'll see how far we can go. I want to keep this going as much as possible. And if people want to read other works and do a second round robin of sorts, we can do that. But I'd rather wind us down till we can get to the feature, Deta Galloway, who's been very patient and listening to everyone's words in the background of Toni's Zoom setup camera. Let's welcome up first, before we get to our musical interlude with Ethan, another one of our online family, someone who we would never have met if it weren't for me meeting him through the Dyer series, which is another very popular weekly poetry series founded by Tim Gager. And he came to us, and I'm very glad he's here with us as well. Let's welcome up Mr. John Stickney.
Thank you, Chad. I really appreciate it. You guys have been so generous through this, sharing Stone Soup with all of us out here in the Netherlands. Very appreciative. And for a reading series to exist for 50 years is just such a remarkable accomplishment. When you consider, I don't think there's been an Italian government in the modern era that's existed more than 2 years at any one time before it was thrown out of office. 50 years is, how many Italian governments? So, that should be the new unit of measure, I think. Anyway, much like Chad, I was trying to do 30 poems in 30 days and a little less successful than Chad was. I did appreciate you posting every day. It was inspiring. And this is one of the poems that I wrote early on when I seemed like I had some energy. As the days passed, I wound down a little bit. There's no way of knowing. My supervisor had a photographic memory. It helped him survive law school. Cites in cases right there on a printed page to be recalled and recorded, word by word on every test. I was never that blessed. My memory was a trick bag at best. Members of obscure rock bands, instruments, some songs, no problem. The capital of certain states. The batting averages of slightly above Cleveland Indian players. Random selections of verse. 25 lines of the prologue of Canterbury Tales in mangled Middle English. Juan that opera in the Shora Sota. A Willie Shakes sonnet and soliloquy. How to spell soliloquy. Nothing harmful, but nothing really useful. Over time, my memory has become merely photogenic. When I search my data banks for an answer, there's usually a smiling figure standing there, hands up in a gestured shrug, or a good-natured guy winking, the cartoon balloon caption above him reading, "Guess you're a dumbass." At least it's not a 404 error message page. You know, I'll take good-natured over blank stare any day, even today, whatever the date, day of the week, or year it may be. Thanks.
Thank you, John. And now we have our musical interlude moment with the man who I selfishly called the Pulse of Stone Soup one time because of his amazing contributions to many people on the open mic, many people here today. But he's really the pulse of Boston, if I have to be honest. Let's welcome up Mr. Ethan Mackler.
A long time ago, in 1971, a dream was born, a dream begun. Stone Soup was the name and the moniker stuck. As venue after venue ran out of luck. There was Dee Dee the Bears and Out of the Blue, the Assemblage Gallery, and now there's Zoom. You know the names throughout the years they've shared their hopes, their thoughts, their fears. We've seen Rat and Butcher and Susie D, Jan and James and Toni Bee, Stone Soup croutons and tales of the alt-blight, and blackbirds singing in the dead of nights. Thanks, Chad. Happy birthday to Stone Soup. 50 years. Oh boy, that's so long.
Feeling older and older the more people tell me happy 50th birthday. I'm going to be like, happy 100th birthday, Chad, by the end of this Zoom call. Thank you very much, Ethan. And we're going to move on to the next person, the final person to close out the this part of the open mic. We'll see what happens after the feature. Maybe we'll all be all tired and want to go out for I don't know, just walks in the driveway without a mask because we can now apparently. But who knows? For now, we're going to close us out with the penultimate closer. I mentioned oddballmagazine.com. Many a person has been published on that in that journal, including this person who is published every Thursday morning without fail at 11 o'clock a.m. Catches a poem column. It's all one thing. And let's welcome up Mr. James Van Looy. Uh-oh, looks like he needs to be unmuted. Here he goes.
Okay, I'm okay now, Chad.
Okay, great.
I got a poem here called Stone Soup, which was actually originally written for the installation of the Stone Soup archives at UMass back in the 90s. Stone Soup. When I first moved into Beantown, I lived on South Russell Street at the base of the poor side of Beacon Hill. It was right down Cambridge Street where I took my son to the Yellow Submarine Sandwich Shop. It reminded me of Midwestern garage sales, except the junk was art. The diverse paintings on the walls, the burgeoning small press publications, the stacks and shelves of used books bespoke not a business but life on its own. I didn't quite know what to make of it, but it made me remember the late 1950s when I was a kid, frozen in time with everyone, waiting to live out a preordained life. No one, much less me, wanted to live, until my big brother left Catcher in the Rye lying around leftover from freshman literature class, and he and his friends sat in bedrooms quoting Holden Caulfield at each other as a lengthy form of a conversation they didn't know how to hold on their own, with Charlie Parker and Thelonious Monk, screaming agony and cool on the hi-fi. Maybe anything could happen, and everything did happen at Stone Soup, at workshops and readings at Stone Soup Moving Company with pianos and refrigerators, with microphones, voices, and bodies, and ever-present urbane notebooks, and scratchy, itchy, bleeding pens. And even when the storefront was lost to become a travel agency, finally forever haunted by Bill Barnum and Brother Blues, prancing incantations and romping ministrations, it was like Jack just pulled up oars and weighed anchor to float through a picaresque novel, adrift through the oceanic city, finding port at arcane watering spots like the Maverick Bar, the Sword and the Stone, Peter Piper's Restaurant, Charlie's Tap, and now T.T. the Bears. I came and went, living around the rim of the flesh-eating ghetto in Dorchester, Mission Hill, and Jamaican Plain, and going through a poetical love affair with modern mime. But Jack was always there, early in the morning, glorious summer dawn, in Faneuil Hall Flower Market, when we met under the giant ficus benjamina, me certain in the knowledge we were the fountain of life, watering the tree at the center of the world in poetry. The poetry, an in-depth blessing for the city at the beginning of its day, an end of mine. Jack was just starting, and I'd seen him the night before. And there were Jack Kerouac birthday parties and counter-inaugural balls, readings in front of City Hall, Ginsburg and Ferlinghetti come to town, events from Newburyport to Somerville to Dorchester, from the hub across to Cambridge. There really was an ersatz community of poets and musicians, painters and sculptors, storytellers and performers, mimes, dancers, and guerrilla street artists. Oh, Pogo, where are you now when we really need you? Or how can you find the far middle when you're really nowhere at all? But we were really trying for the cats who never got to the gate. We were singing in all the voices that never got to hear the song. Even if we were the word that couldn't be heard, it was all there. Anybody could, and probably did, get up there and let it all hang out. Sometimes it was way out there. Sometimes it wasn't. But as theater, it never lacked the immediacy of surprise, the heart of drama. It did have a life of its own. It's here now. This is just the beginning. Who'd have thought there could be so many flavors brewed from those same old stones? Here's to all the poets, men and women, gay and straight, young and old, wombats and way too human, feminists and brothers, fugitives from his story, feminists and brothers, the disabled healing themselves, bikers, behemoths, and leviathans, Hindu, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Native American, mystic, atheist, humanist conundrum, ecological, maniac, world mother, pagan, animus, shit bums, all the poets of all the nations of all the world, whoever, whatever, whichever, whenever, why? Because we're here. Because New York Magazine said beatniks are back? Nah. Because we're hippies? Nah. Because we're punks? Nah. Because we didn't go away. Because we're alive. Because it's just the beginning. I hope it's still on.
Yes, thank you very much, James.
Yeah.
And that has been a staple of many open mics through many anniversary readings, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm very glad you're our penultimate closer now in the open mic. Billy of the Barnums, rest in peace. And I'm about to read the boilerplate for the person who, if you're lucky, you already know. If you're not, then you're doubly blessed, because let me introduce to you Deta Galloway. Deta Galloway was born in Kingston in the Jamaica West Indies. I almost said Jamaica Plain, West Indies. Jesus Christ. Deta Galloway was born in Kingston in the Jamaica West Indies. She immigrated to America at 18 years of age to live with her American husband and study medicine. She is educated in professional nursing, human services, and management. She currently specializes in behavioral nursing. Her art life has been a central focus of her emotional and spiritual development. It has been a driving force in the way she has practiced nursing and cared for families from all walks of life. It is healing, compassion, and empowerment throughout the life stages. She has lived and traveled deeply into the southern states and lived for at least 18 years in Georgia. She began writing poetry at 13 and has been published in several anthologies and journals, Oddball Magazine most recently. She has performed with poets such as Etheridge Knight, Josephine Miles, Galloway Kinnell, W.S. Merwin, Hayden Carruth, Gwendolyn Brooks, Yusef K., Brother Blue, Tom O'Leary, and Elizabeth Gordon McKim, as well as many, many others. She has read her work for numerous radio stations, including Radio Jamaica, and her artwork has been exhibited and collected in museums, both in the United States and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, those are just facts. For the true experience, let's all take a deep breath. Make sure we're all on mute and put your hands together so she can see you, because she can see you and she loves you. 30 to 40 times for Deta Galloway.
Yes.
Stone Soup is 50 years today, but Deta Galloway is immortal. Come find out why. And looks like you're muted. You're muted, Deta.
Yeah, well, she's helping me. I have tech support. So we are together because of the 50th anniversary of Stone Soup. And of course, he said many things, and many of us are already converts to that history. So because of time, I won't give too much time to talk and repeat what Chad said. But I want to thank Chad. And I also want to shout out homage to Jack Powers and Julie and Bonnie Boulez at TT and the Beers. I just can't forget those days and nights and all the wonderful people I met and the many stories. So hopefully we're going to get together and share those again. I also want to pay homage and condolences to the Ferlinghetti family. The memory of Kathleen Spivak, I remember, Ann Sexton, and many others, Ifeanyi Menkiti, many others, many great poets. And so I earlier talked with Toni, my good friend here and poet, and part American West Indian, like me. I was telling her about Vincent Ferrini and telling her how I was sorry that I missed the Olsons, but I did go to their grave when I was taken to Gloucester by Elizabeth McKim, my old friend and great poet also. Donald Hall, I remember, Galway Canal. I want to shout out to these wonderful people that I do know, Etheridge Knight, yes, and so many. And tonight also I want to shout out to Hayden Carruth, wherever he is. I haven't seen him in decades. And Sonia Sanchez, and the memory and the wonderful grace of Marie Evans, and so many other wonderful people. So with much ado, I wanted to say, I'm going to read a few poems from my very large and ongoing cosmology series, and most of it will be about love. So I'll begin with a couple of poems. Then I will sing you two songs for my closing. One is a small requiem and homage for George Floyd and his family, and for us, for America, for the world. And of course, I want to end with the old spiritual and folk song with a cover from my own edition. I want to lay down my weary burden. So I want to send blessings to you guys. Stay safe, and let's stay together. And I begin with Night Farewells, a poem I wrote and sent to a friend of mine in Africa. And so I was telling Aliyu that I had a performance coming, and that if there were any poems that he would like me to read, could he send me one or whatever? And he sent me a couple. And actually, I like them. Many of the poems I would forget. There's so many that I write. So this one is called Farewell. Night, farewell, imbued with dawn's awakening. Tonight, I be well, and I will rest easy until the dawn's awakening. And like you, once again, I will return to sleeping, saying a prayer for your blessings, and that you and I will continue to ply our songs of love. And from the mountains, inside the continents of love, inside our heart, inside my heart and yours, and inside the heart of the flowers, the heart of loves, the flying doves, the heart of us, in dreams and in time, inside the frame and inside the soul, rooted in lush places, where the land becomes desires and is discovered once again in the regions where we still search. I think of Chad, and I think of such a wonderful, gentle, strong man, someone that I adore, and someone that fits all of the things that we want a man to be about, and yet he is, I would say, tender. He supports women. He's a wonderful father figure and a nurturer, and he makes one of the best friends. He's an artist, and so the beautiful words that I feel, I want to share this through the contribution that Chad and many of our friends make with each other. So we are a family. We're a family of the creatives, someone told me the other day. So yes, we're the creatives. And so let me finish. I love you, Chad. I'm always close to tears in the last year because of so many people that we have lost, but so many people also that we have gained. And so many people that in the love that we have for them, no matter where they are today, and still we love them more. So like you, once again, I will return to sleeping, to sing, as I'm saying to you, this song of a prayer, this song of love. for you are my blessing. And I will continue to listen, and I will continue to play my songs of love. For inside my heart, yes, you are the frame beside my soul. I am bidding you dawn. I am bidding you the regions where I have discovered these songs of the morn, waking into the long farewell. And as she returns, time, inside serenity, time, like water droplets upon your skin, and you walk like the cylindrical crystal line of the rain. That's where I sing, to feel the cool morning, the bleeding cool water upon my skin, like a memory. And yet I know that sometime will come a noon where there will be a shift of the sun, but it shall be softer then. For already we can feel the heat receding. Just look around. If you don't see me, call out to me. Call out to me from time's mature childhood. Call out to me as I'm growing. As I'm growing and as I'm awaiting here to say, I am still here. I may have fled the bed of comfort. Where can I go but to your room? Where can I go but to run closer to your heart? Where can I go except to look at you in the simpleness, in our situation and in the condition, in the composition between soft sheets? How I need this uncovering, that I may be still smoother in my nakedness, that I may look at you and say, could you be my shave, the edge of the softness? Could you be the hand and the elbow that washes over me? And still, could you touch me as I turn? Because I have loved you so long, and yes, always to give you everything. So drink from me, from the sweetness of my cup. Drink from me, from the parts of my body that still remain sweet. Drink. Drink in the liquidness, in the depths of my eyes. Drink while you're searching. Search still deeper in my vessels, because fruit is still there growing to be ripened, to be spreading spicy scents, to be like the ginger fields of my youth growing slender like leaves. Once I was a dancer on the tip of feet. Once I was the aromatic feather flying in twisted, soft, undulating air. And in my joy, my saliva brimming underneath the shallow parts of my tongue, I swallowed my own sweetness. I swallowed the searches and the light paths that moved me into the mirror of my ivory teeth. I have held myself in the image of you between the worthiness of your gifts. I am your signature, and I am from your embrace, the hair that is breath. So blow upon me now. Blow upon me like a strand of love. Blow softly upon me with your care. You know, I would briefly remind us, and I know that I don't have to fight for converts. Poetry is the most intimidating form of the creatives because it will not compromise. It is relentless. It is relentless even when it's ugly. It is confessional. And in many ways, it is unquestioned as sacred language, a rippling from our tongue, and each and every poet has been given this sacred gift. Guard it, nurture it, and grow it, and make it rich. Pass it on to the parts and the places that you can. But poetry is your I don't want to say your weapon. Poetry is your tool. It is your defense. And it is something that will make humanity persist, and it will keep us here long, and it will keep us strong. So, love a poet. Yes, you still have to learn the rules. There are many, but most important, I say most important from the superlatives. I was born and I read the King George's English, so I feel confident in saying most important. But I'll accept you when you say most importantly. It's beauty, you know, because there's a power in you as there is in your poetry. And that's what I'm seeking. I'm seeking the zenith, you know, the citadel, the hope and essence, your incantative power, your chanting, your mantra. Howl it and hurl it. Make it be so powerful that it can crush bombs, that it can build cities by night, and that it can make the world sing upright and bright. Fight for your sound and fight for the strength of poems, the long letter that continues. And some are great aficionados at the craft, whether it be renga, yes, whether it be a folk song, whether it be Zen, whether it be haiku, whether it be the sonnets, yet poetry barks at free verse and it roars. In America, it's confessional. It is terribly and awesomely urgent. And it is our autobiography of languages that brings us together in the same room. So this is where our power lies today, in the songs that we sing and in the poetry that we bring. So I wanna salute National Poetry Month, and I want to tell you that the best is yet to come. So I'm always eager to hear another poet. And so I am going to move on because of time and sing you two songs. The first one will be Requiem for George Floyd. I'll take you. Yes. When I sing the second one, I'm going to lay my weary burden down. At some point, I'll just give you a cue, and then wherever you are, you can join me. I want to thank Roger for a wonderful artist that I live with and friend, and for supporting me on many, many occasions. And I try to support him too. And it's another wonderful story. And so today he helped me to get one of these old guitars cleaned up. And come and see, come and see. Tell you now, come see. Come and see, come and see. Where they lay my body down. Where they lay, where they lay, where they lay my body down. Come and see where they lay. Where they lay my body down. My body and my soul, my body and my soul. Whoa, my people, come and see where they lay me down. Oh, my weary body down. No, my weary, my weary, my weary body down. No, my mama. Oh, you hear me calling my mother. Mother, come and see where they lay my weary body down. Oh, yeah. Love in the springtime of my life. Now my weary body down. Hello, yes, yeah. Hello, my weary. Hello, yeah, my weary. Oh, broken body down. No, yeah, no, oh, yes, no, yeah. And no wonder, I say I would. And my weary, my broken, yeah. And my broken body down. And they laid him in a casket. And it was black. And the songstress, she was singing, oh yeah, sorrowful songs, and she was black. And they laid her in a casket, and he was dressed in black. No, and his ministers, yeah, I know they were dressed in mayor and his ministers, they were dressed in black. And we were dressed in black when they laid him down, when they laid him down, when they laid him down, they laid him down. And oh, let him down, let him down, let him down, let him down, let him down. Wonder, do you know where they laid him down? Yes, they laid him down. Cinder laid him down. Laid him down, oh yeah, now. And know where they laid him down, oh yes. And know, laid him down, oh yes, oh yeah, and they laid him down, and they laid him down, and they laid him down. Requiem, an American story of sorrow, tragedy, recovery, and triumph. Rest in peace. We'll come see you. You'll come be with us. And together, we're going to keep on marching straight on to the city of God. So hopefully over the years, we will take a little piece of this song. It's very simple. You can add your own words or the parts that hurts or makes you joyful and sing, you know, do, re, mi, fa, so. And most great songs are basically written like that. They provide an opportunity for any one of us to express our sorrow. And so any version would be all right, even if you read it or chant it. So thank you. This is my final song. I have wonderful tech support from Toni Bee. Once again, blessings to National Poetry Month. Thanking everybody in Boston who worked so hard to bring the community together and to give each and every one of us an opportunity in our special ways and time to say what we can, do what we can for each other. We're a family. So if you have an emotional or a physical or an economic problem, let us know about it. We should all get together and support each other. We want to support and honor Oddball magazine. He started out, I remember when Jason opened and he was so humble. He said, Deta, will you publish with me? I said, of course. And James, who has always been around forever, like I am, we're not old though, we're just smarter. And we love Chad, he's just full of energy and dogged, he's dogged. You can't stop this train. But we need poetry and supporters like that. So let's always remember wherever he is, you got to pay the rent or he needs assistance or just support. Send him some kudos. And when you go to the readings, you know, don't forget, you can still send a little money because there's expenses involved with technology, even if you're not paying rent. But soon we're going to get back together in the physical space. We need to get together and throw a little fundraiser to support Chad and the very good work he does, because it furthers our career and legitimizes us. So I just want to plug that in and say thank you and sing my last song. Thank you all. Thank you guys for selecting me. I know Carol was on earlier. I respectfully nod, not just kudos, but homage, you know, to her. Not because she's older, because she's a forerunner of Adita. And we need to honor the people who have laid the way for us. So Carol Weston, 10 points, and woman power and poet power. And you're still cute. You're still a bohemian, nice, sophisticated lady. And I love you, you know that. I miss Brother Blue and Brother Billy Barnum and all the people we lost physically, but spiritually they're with us. And Walter Clark, all these people. So shout out to the men and women who support poets, who have wives and children and daughters who are poets. Support us, and we love you, and you're a poet too. Yes, she's giving me some cool air because it's kind of hot in my place. I live in Roxbury. You in the neighborhood, stop by Studio Indic. Get something to drink, look at some paintings, and hang out with Deta. It's a destination point. Yes, 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 yes. Let me set the pace for it. I'm gonna lay down my own weary burden down. I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna lay down. Now I'm gonna lay down my weary head, my weary head. Gonna lay down my weary burden down. Oh, I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down. Oh, I'm gonna lay down my weary and no voice and no burden down. I'm gonna lay down my weary burden down. Oh, I'm gonna lay down. Oh, my weary, yeah. Oh, my weary burden down. Hey, I'm gonna lay it down. Weary burden. Sit. Lay down. All your burdens. I'm gonna lay them down. Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna lay down my weary burden down. Now I'm gonna lay down my weary burden down. Oh, I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay down. No, my weary burden down. Oh, and I say lay it down. And I say lay it down. Wonder, and yeah. You know what's the my weary burdens. She's gonna lay down by the river side, down by the riverside. Hear it flow. We're down by the river, no, I say, oh, no, I say, see, no, my weary burden down. Wonder you got to lay down, yeah, oh, yes, your weary burden down, oh, yes, I know what's in that lay down. Wonder you got to lay down. Send now, what's it now? Lay down, what's it down? Lay down, oh, you're weary. Hey, yeah, what's it? That's it, oh, you know. your weary burden down. Lay down that sorrow, yeah, yeah. No more, I don't want to study a war no more. Don't want to study no conflict. I don't want to study war no more. I don't want to study no conflict no more. Lay it down. I know nothing, I come nothing down by the riverside, and there was a way down. I know, and no way, I know, yes, I know what is in the river. I know, no, I don't want no study war no more. Don't want to study no conflict no more. By the river, lay it down. Lay it down, lay it down, oh, you're weary now. No more, no, yeah, I'm burdened down, no, it's a burden, no, it's a burden, no, when you study war, yeah. Don't want to study no conflict no more. Lay your weary burden, and I know that's anymore. Lay it down, no, let us say I lay it down. And now, no, lay it down, no, yeah. Don't want to study war no more. Don't want to no study no conflict no more. For there's a home of peace and love. Love yourself, love yourself. Green mountains rise up above. Oh, I know that your heart is aching. Oh, I know that your body's breaking, oh yeah. Well, no, what's no, whoa, no, that's where it burdened down. Hallelujah, down to lay down, lay down, oh yes, and now lay down, oh, hallelujah, now lay down. Love is laying it down, laying it down. Love, oh yeah, down to lay down, got to lay down, no, and no, rest and lay down, lay your weary burden down, lay down, no, down by the river. I know, yes, about your sorrow. Hallelujah, and I know about your pain. Oh, glory, yeah. Well, no, I'm on the speed and train to glory, yeah. Freedom is a speeding train. Come with me, y'all. Speeding train to glory, yeah. We are on the speeding train to glory, yeah. I know that the speeding train to glory, hallelujah, is my freedom train. Speeding train to glory. Get over, no, on the freedom train to glory. Yeah, you won't want to study one freedom train. Sing all love, sing all of the speeding train to glory. Yeah, I'm so weary and I don't want to study. I don't want to study no conflict. No more, no more, hallelujah. Get me on, no, get me on. Whoa, on the speeding train to glory. Love, love, freedom, freedom. Singing from the power, singing from the mountains of the blues, singing from the mighty rock of ages, singing from the justice cause, mighty and transcendent are the believers in peace, those who seek and stand righteous with one another. We shall be on the speeding train to glory. Mighty and transcendent is the power of those who worship and feed the child, those who seek the hiding places of comfort. Love and understanding is the way. Sing those songs of glory and the power. Oh, hallelujah. Sing my closing line. Let's sing with me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on, sing like your mother taught you. Hallelujah. Yes, and your father taught you also. Sing, sing hallelujah. 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 Speeding train to glory, yeah. Speeding train to freedom on the speeding train. Singing from the voice, you can cut it. Singing from the voice. Hallelujah. Singing from the voice of the justice cause. As a country shall grow together in peace. And righteous are the believers who seek the righteousness and the protection of each other. Singing from the justice mountain rock of ages, sing your songs of love and glory. For this is the human story. Sing, sing. By the water, lay it down. Hallelujah, lay it down. Hallelujah and amen. Thank you. Go in peace, and we shall be together soon. I love you all. I want to thank everybody for supporting me. And let's get it on. The rest of the poetry performances. Thank you, guys. Woo! Thank you, Chad.
Yes,
you're the best.
Galloway.
I hope I gave you a moment or two of inspiration, as you have given me so many. Thank you all.
Wow. That was
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
that was
That was
amazing.
amazing.
It's terrific.
Thank you very much, Deta.
I have
Go
good
back
text
and
support.
go back
Between
and
Jack and Tony, I didn't have to worry about this. I didn't have to worry about the situation.
There I go with this.
I didn't.
Messing up the video.
I had tech support. No, I
go
can
back
sit
and go back and read that third line for me again. No, I'm sorry. I won't. Wow.
I had good tech support, so I didn't have to worry about the technotics. Other than Zoomnotics, I didn't have to worry about the technotics.
I think Chad knows about that.
I
He
just have
saved
to
me from it.
stick to my lunatics.
Right?
I'm happy. Just, you know, at least for today, I'm very happy.
Thank you, Deta. This has been fantastic, and I'm so glad that we were able to hear this and witness this. We have a couple of people who have joined on to the open to the audience via Zoom. I'm sure there are people who are going to be if they're not watching it now on Facebook live feed, they're going to be watching it later. So I'm looking forward to that.
I wish I had the flu all week, so my voice was like, oh, I'm just gonna crack.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Wow.
Okay.
This will be online by tomorrow. I know I was a little bit delaying last time with the Cambridge Poetry Mashup, but because I was exhausted. But this time I'll make sure to get the whole video for this up by tomorrow.
For all that you've done.
Hi, Mignon. Love you.
Hi, Mignon.
Love you. With a big name.
Yeah.
Dominion. I love poems. I love chatterboxes, intellectual chatterboxes, I call them. I love them. They're special. And you got a beautiful smile. Look at you.
This is great. I'm going to take a moment to I'm going to take a minute to bring up a couple of people who've been waiting patiently. They weren't able to get here on time. I'm sure they wish they did just as much as I did, but I'd love to give some people their due who are on the call, and I hope they're still on. And it looks like some people aren't on. That's a little disturbing, but I hope for this to change. Maybe they'll come back on later, but we do have at least one person who is joining us from the West Coast. I think we might have more people joining us later. But for now, we have John Landry, who is a New Englander turned West Coaster. He is a poet who has performed numerous times for us over the last few years, and it would be fantastic if he were to share his words with us, just as he's doing, as many people do from Stone Soup, call and respond from his car, which I hope is not as dangerous as it looks. I think of LA traffic, but then I'm like, oh, you at least stood there for 2 hours. So
thanks, Chad. This is John Landry in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Oh. And yes, I'm sitting in my car, and I've been living in Albuquerque for the last 4 years. I have been reading for Stone Soup for Jack Powers since 1973. And so I want to dip my hat to James and to Carol and to Jack Powers and John Wieners and Charlie Shively, those we've lost, those who still live long in our hearts, minds, and on the pages. So I have 2 short poems, if that's all right. Yes, okay, one is in response to John Wiener's poem Chinoiserie. This one is called Quinoiserie. It goes like this. Dependence upon a lozenge is an anomaly in the annals she claimed to have been gummed by Gabby Hayes. Grains of truth, seeds of contempt, clutter the hinge of the unopened shutter. And my last poem, this is also for someone we lost last year, the late great Father Daniel Berrigan, who was also one of Jack's godfathers, if you will. This one begins with an epigram by Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk and anti-war activist monk Cistercian monk in Kentucky. And he says this, I am left rich and alone, and nothing can assuage my hunger. Everything I touch turns into distraction. He wrote that in the late 1960s, and it's just as pertinent today by this American life. So this poem is called A War to Warm Their Psalms By. I am the axle between being and nothingness. There is no interval in their constant song. Silence, like science, goes on without permission. Null's virginal prophecies in the night garden, always silence, aware of the middle language is. Language of highest passage from you, sitting under silent ginkgo tree, pigeons pace in their beggary, sparrows swoop to rob them of some merciful human's gift. The city's busy hum is its own song, the chant of commerce, meanwhile, where men ignore the forest's reincarnation, much to make Merton of. What is solved amidst bickering birds, that most basic of disagreements, the profit made by war begets more fields of rusted death toys, grown, outgrown, played, and obsolete. That's it from me. I will be as short as possible and just thank everybody for being here. And again, give my nods to James and Carol, two of the stalwarts. We're the old guard here, but I'm younger still. And thank you, Chad, as ever, brother. You keep it going. We love you.
Thank you so much, John. And I'd
Happy
love
anniversary.
Thank you. I hope to speak with you later on because or at least correspond, because I'd love to have you come on later this month, because you have a lot of history and behind Stone Soup that I don't have because I joined so late. So I would love to have more of that and more stories, you know, especially for now that we can do a video documentation of this. So
Sure. By all means, yeah, contact me through Facebook and we'll get in touch for sure.
I will do that. Thank you. Because I know we talked about you even having like a memoir, like an essay, or like writing about some people in the past. So if you're still interested in that,
I will.
I would love it.
Let's talk about it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Bye, all. Thank you.
Take care. So who do we have next? Oh, yes, we do have a couple people join. I'm trying to see if a couple other people can be with us for the last bit of this. But for now, we do have someone who joined us via phone. She is also a columnist for Oddball magazine. Her name is Janet Cormier. Her column is Bamboozled No More, which airs, I say airs as if it's a radio show, which is published every Friday morning at 11 o'clock without fail at oddballmagazine.com. Let's welcome up Miss Janet Cormier.
Hey, hi. I'm sorry it took me so long. I am
No worries.
the last of the whatever.
We can hear you. You're good.
Okay, it took me 2 hours to do this. The first one is, and first off, hello to everybody. I hope you're all well. Party on, because it's the anniversary party.
Is that Tizinia?
That's it.
That's
and
Janet.
then what? Wait a minute. Did I lose myself?
No. I
Okay.
was just telling people that Tony was asking if that was Tisnia, and I just said no, that was Janet Cormier.
Oh, okay. When You Choose to Love a Poet by Janet Cormier. Please understand that you are not the subject of my poetry, but the center of all my attentions, and that I don't record the intimate details of our conversations in my notebook, but instead choose to clutter my head with the subtle clues you drop ever so carefully about yourself. And that what appears on paper are only the neo-impressionistic renderings and ramblings from the heart and hand of a romantic doodler. And the next one is very short. It's called Language of Love, and it's I am, you are, we be. and one more short one. Two kinds of lovers. For me, there are two kinds of lovers: those who request a poem and those who inspire one. So that's it. Happy anniversary. Hello? Hello?
Most of us are muted while we listen to you, so don't be afraid of the silence, Janet. And thank you very much for joining in. I'm trying to see if a couple other people can join. I'm a switchboard. I'm a glorified switchboard operator these days, so I'm making sure that as many people don't call me tonight and say, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" I think I tagged like 200 people out of the 99 I'm limited to. But
I don't know why I just didn't get through, so I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, Janet. You're good. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of this. You're one of the first group of open micers for the next 50 years of Stone Soup. Regardless of whether I'm around for it or not. But and God help me if I am. Happy 100th birthday, Chad. I mean 150th anniversary, Stone Soup, or God help me. All right, so we have up next. And we do have some time left to burn, because I know we're going to get someone at 5:50 saying, "Hey guys, what are you doing here?" So if anyone wants to do a second round, just let me know in the comment section if you're so able to do so. But let's welcome up another friend of myself, Toni Bee, and others, Catherine Jenkins.
Woohoo! All right, I'm excited to be here. Big up, Deta. And Chad, thank you for extending the invite since I've been on a hiatus from Facebook and what all the cool kids are doing. And lovely to see y'all as a Stone Soup sometimer. I'm going to read two. Both of them have the word dream in the title or in the poem. That seems like fitting for the time we're in right now. So the first one I've read previously at Stone Soup. It's called In the Dreams / of Our Ancestors. In my dreams, I greet my oldest ancestors in their custom, and it pleases them. And though their dark brown skin and hardened hands do not resemble my wintertime pallor or skin kept smooth by lotions, I see myself within their facial expressions and body language, just as they see themselves in mine. I am so happy to be home because we are. In my dreams, though our words loom indecipherable by language, our songs and dances tell our stories. The joy of our reunion, the despair of our severance, the unthinkable pain and horror caused by our alien nation. Love radiates between us outside of rational comprehension from deep within our spirits. My ancient grandfather smiles mischievously, shakes his head wistfully, sighs a knowing sigh, holds me to him tight, tight, as if to say, "My dear little child, you are not crazy or foolish for loving my dark-skinned sisters and sons. You are rather most human." My ancient grandmother presses her forehead to mine, holds my face between her ancient hands, as if to say, "We are not sending you away, little one. We are just sending you ahead, for invoking our memory even before you knew us or how to do so, to keep remembering us as you always have." My eyes squeeze shut. My eyes squeeze shut tight to hold back disobedient tears, to fight the ending of a dream. We return to the present, looking back to the past, belly full of ancestral fire. My stranger's face belies my kinswoman's spirit, full of remembering, full of love. In the dawn, the call of birds will greet me. The ancient's phoenix will rise from the ashes, called forth by the Sankofa, who will fly forward, looking back, hearkening with her songs, our forgotten stories and dreams of our ancestors, full circle. And then the second one doesn't really have a title, but I just call it Nama Poem. The last time we spoke, I had goods in my pocket, and I strained my ears to hear you over the static on the line, as all around me a chorus of Creole voices swelled in a symphony of struggle and despair, while cool shadows of late afternoon seeped into the room, seeking refuge from the hot Santiago sun. Somewhere in the past weeks, we'd crossed paths in time, if not in person. Your lingering goodbyes to birthplace, yet another goodbye, embraced me as I crossed the tarmac in Port-au-Prince. My arrival, the first time my feet had touched that ground after years away, just a week after your depart, visa in hand, for another unknown northern land. I tried to imagine you in Montreal as I chased your ghost unsuccessfully through the cramped streets of Carrefour. Always, I was not fast enough to catch you. Always, you are 1 week ahead. Now I've washed the last dust of Hispaniola from my body under a hot water, high pressure shower, and I find myself missing bucket baths, unsurprisingly. I thought I'd feel closer to you without a sea between us, with only miles of highways and hours by bus or plane between. But I know now you are a memory tied to red earth, white rocks, and blue seas, to Cocoyer and tales of Lugao and an unrealized revolution that refuses to give up. Even if our bodies did not and never will meet in this other land, it is home of your birth and my inspiration, and where our dreams will always live, alone or together. Thank you. Congrats, Stone Soup, for 50 years.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you very much. We have a couple of people who have volunteered, who have stepped up to do a second round, but I'm going to start with Minion because I know she has a deadline. She has to go move. How'd you spend your weekend? How'd you spend your May Day? Moving. Okay. But she finally found her Prince sonnet. And I am a fan of that, so I do want to hear that. So Minion, if you are ready, so are we.
Yes, thank you. Prepare for more bad singing. Don't make me lose my mind. Each year, this month, this day, I write a poem. On the 23rd of April, the bud was born. My middle namesake called an island home before a banished duke made it forlorn. Was Ariel a male or androgynous sprite? Back then, the generic he might be applied, though flaring nostriled academics fight for a tiny-minded chasmic sex divide. And certainly, male privilege reigns supreme. This country spits on femininity. MLK and Alice Walker had different dreams that I could philosophize about for infinity. But for now, my rhyming politics are done, for on this week came the death of the purple one. The beautiful ones, they hurt you every time. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everybody. Happy birthdays.
Thank you so much, Minion. And let's see who we have coming up next. I see you, CC. We're gonna get to you, and let's see who we have next. Oh yes, Blackbird wanted another go, so she can go.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I really enjoyed Deta's feature. That was beautiful. And Toni's voice, that was nice. I didn't know Toni could sing like that. I didn't know you could. I didn't know you had those vocals. Okay, yes, ma'am. All right. So this is an introduction. That's what I call it, an introduction poem. So this will be included in my album, as well as the last poem that I just did called Who is Harriet Tubman, and that will come out in July. So Hidden Charm Press. What is that? Oh,
That's her publishing imprint.
thank you.
I'll send you info.
Yo, you don't understand. I was literally about to send you a message after this was done to talk to you about this. Yes! So Chad, I'm coming for you in July, okay? I'm coming for you. July
Okay.
July 2021. I'm coming for you.
Margaret, Blackbird's coming for me. I don't know what to do. Anyway, we'll figure this out. Okay.
I'm done with you. All right, let's get it started.
Honey, what should I be afraid of you? Okay.
No.
Okay. Kidding.
Yes, be afraid. Be very afraid. Be very afraid.
Okay. Okay, let's read the poem.
All right. Introduction. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say. But I say, beauty comes from within. You will never amount to anything because of your past, they say. I say, I am successful because of my past. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, like the songs say. But I say, no, let me try that again. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say. But I say, beauty comes from within. You will never amount to anything because of your past, they say. But I say, I am successful because of my past. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, like the songs say. But I say, blackbird with a Y is flying and singing in the bright sky. Hey y'all, I'm Blackbird. Welcome to my journey. July, I don't know what date yet, but July, coming soon.
Thank you, Blackbird. Good luck.
Happy birthday, Stone Soup.
Good luck, Blackbird. I've been hearing about this album for a while in a good way, and I can't wait to see it's finished.
Yes.
It's finished. Can't wait to see it as a finished product.
Awesome.
We have one more person joining us via the West Coast. So we are going to, I thought John was still in California, but I'm glad he's in Mexico now, but New Mexico. So we are, who do we have now? We have, yes, we have Ethan Mackler. It's Mac tonight. And thank God I've never tried that joke before now because I just heard how horrible it was in my own ears.
Well, did anyone that hasn't gone yet want to go before I go again?
Oh, well, let's, Joshua Corwin is joining in now in the waiting room, and he's from the waiting room. So, all right, let's get two people who haven't come before, and Mr. Mack can be the musical finish. I'm just muting you, Joshua. So we're gonna go. Hi, Josh. We're going to bring up first of the two newbies who are just joining us. Let's bring up the man who is celebrated for many of Stone Soup's anniversary, including a memorable New Year's performance, which I hope to have salvaged from DVDs and can get documentation and can get someone to transcribe it to video worthy of YouTubing. Let's welcome up Mr. C.C. Ashagra.
Hi, thank you. And I'm really upset that I didn't jump on in time, that this slipped by. I missed Deta. I guess she already went, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I can ask her to do an encore. Maybe
There
she'll
you
be
go.
gracious,
There you go. And I
we'll
hope
see.
I hope she sang.
She did. Oh,
I'm gonna
God, she did.
dedicate this reading to Brother Blue, who was
Is that Ashagra?
yes, Deta, love. There you are.
How are you?
I'm good. And I want everyone to come. Say it again.
You're getting better looking every day.
Oh, geez, that's way too kind. Thank you. Yeah, the Human Room Open Voice. Please just send the Human Room Open Voice at Gmail. If you're listening to this now or later, in the thing, I'm doing a brand new open mic hybrid. It's not an open mic. It's a hybrid. It's a brainchild of my life work. It definitely comes from my decade of never missing a Stone Soup for 10 years. I miss Jack, love Jack. And maybe I should even put Jack up here in my background here because I think he should be here. I have a virtual background of Jack. One of my favorite photographs I ever took of him. Let's see if this works. Give me a sec. There he is. Hey, Jack. Say hello, Jack. Okay. All right. This is from.
You're in
Say it again.
Connecticut?
I'm still in Connecticut. Yes. The Human Room Open Voice is virtual though. The next one's May 9th, and then there's one the week before Juneteenth. If you want to jump on, it's for open. It's an open mic. It's a free speech venue. It's for nonprofits. There's principles of involvement. You got to agree.
You got to tell me what to do.
Blah 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 blah. Let me read a poem.
Can you leave the information in the chat?
I will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is from a book that I wrote before I started the open microphone poems, and I never published it. It was edited by David Cody, the amazing man. It's called The Oxygen Garden, and this piece from that book is called Earth. And I want to dedicate it to Brother Blue because I often think of him and miss him, and he was an important soul on the scene during his time. And out of the good muddy soup of existence, no life form conceived of a cellular moving. Nothing ever so filthy with wonder collectively gathered and started to cry. Here, being touched, life. One became many as food became hunger. Form became food, not a thing to waste other to an other universe inside itself. Time without measure gave organic meaning neath tears, pools of living as islands birthed mountains, repeating the lessons while continents bore fires of gardening air to the body of bare breath. Hunger birthed giants to the killing of sky, while still but a cell was being born somewhere, till again by rock's measure life fed off its own death, as cells became bones, became skulls housing brains where, and claws became paws, became hands equipped with thumbs. Most wondrous of grips upon limbs beyond weapons, to thoughts of what may tool a living revelation, till size was less measure of who ate the other, and so driven to mate and be the protector, she is captured by he to primarily breed. The original flame quest had moved on. And who with a tool might survive without killing, repeating the lessons organically given, abandoning trees to cave shelters to dwellings erected and safe within cages and fences, with fears of facing, with constant misplacing of fire and fuel, and knowing of hunger, neath feeding and pleasures and powers of taking, till killing was no longer driven by nature. The others, not different, rose out of the jungle as animal beings touched war and fears placing. Animal man was forgetting the lesson, and civilization turned against creation. Tongues grew, protecting oneself from one other, and take moved to killing and rape, burn and pillage, and land became reasons to forge war with hatred till civilization reached social peace, causing a need to grow more wars and spread them to protect it, till man became masters of killing each other and slowly dismantled the garden of nature, still never resolving the conflicts between others, not even the faiths and hopes of religions could understand why we still murder each other, could not even see how fear God is used reason, could not even admit lies about who makes pollution, and cannot see what is fear's primal connection. In fact, it is still used as a modern deception. In fact, most solutions are killed at inception, In fact, greed refuses to value each person. In fact, some might kill me for reading this poem. Oh, see the dust cloud on the nuclear world, all over giants no bigger than you here. See the word hate ignored like a plague. See politics vie between God and fear is. All over humankind leaving this earth, while still but a cell is being born somewhere. From the Oxygen Garden, written in 2000 and still not published. Thank you, Jack. I love you.
Thank you, CC.
And thank you for the reminder, most of all, to jump on here. I would have been so sad if I missed this.
You're very welcome. I'm going to see if, Joshua is here. Joshua Corwin is the West Coast correspondent for Oddball magazine. I guess in a way he's also a West Coast correspondent for Stone Soup. He is I guess we're doing musical intros for everyone now. Joshua is the
I love that.
Joshua is also the author of the Incentivized column, where he his invented form of poetry, the word cento, based on other people's existing poems, is published every week, Tuesday at 3 o'clock with no fail. Let's welcome up. I was waiting on you, Ethan. But anyway, let's welcome.
I thought I was muted. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It worked perfectly. I love that. I thought that was cool.
It was a weird tone poem. It was just like Joshua Corwin, not Cornwall. Like it was crazy. But anyway, let us welcome up.
Okay.
Let's welcome up Joshua Corwin, who got a musical intro. I didn't get a musical intro. Fuck this.
That should be a new thing. Definitely. Thank you, Ethan and Chad, and glad I got to jump on for this and jump on it. I'm going to read a poem that is the title piece of one of my new collections. It's still looking for a publisher. It won second place finalist in this year's San Gabriel Valley Poetry Festival for book contest. And it's about the book, How an Orchid Stays Alive, is about my experience with some tough stuff, suicidal ideation, depression, friends going to the hospital, and love. The good stuff. And this is the title poem, How an Orchid Stays Alive. Immobilized in my armchair butterfly, life keeps me down. It felt like my body was being stretched. Heaven's thunder threatens me to crawl back to bedlam bed sheets. My feet, hands, eyes, heavy. Rhythms, torturous souls, solar flares ignite nuclear windshield wipeouts. Scalded by pity, the word letter came to mind. A deep, dark depression. I thought of Hesiodus. I lie awake at night, and it is the middle of the day, full of self-pity. I am alive, layered. One moment peels into another, numb. I feel the burn, the purple dark corridor in my mind's eye. Couldn't relate. Weeping for dread and dreary is too much. Pointless. I have no choice but to relinquish the vainglory. I didn't want to feel like killing myself. I don't think anyone ever wants to feel like killing themselves. I had feelings of that nature on Tuesday when I cried. An alien force comes from nowhere, inserts itself into one's mind. I picked scabs on my head until they bled and bled. The only way to live and escape the nightmare is to fly, sitting in my chair. Reminds me of thunder when I was young. I'd gotten upset with my father. Nowhere words, gun, bullet, gun. I couldn't save him. Gun, bullet, gun, screams, whistles, hums. And I felt a purple darkness wash over me, the thunder. Powerless over my feelings, not over my attitude. There's a soliloquy somewhere here. I felt depressed. So I think I will improvise. I kept hearing immobilized in my armchair butterfly. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Joshua. We got one more person who wants to read for us before we close out with our new Max Weinberg of the group. Intro, outro. Let's welcome back, I should say, Mr. Jason Wright.
Hey there. Yeah, hi. Let's do this. I have a poem here to read, and I didn't know what was going on right away, so hold on one second.
Whoa.
Can I mute for uno momento before?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Waiting for my computer. All right, here we go. This is called In a World. I sometimes start my poems with the words "in a world." In a world is the first thing that comes to me, because really in a world has so many places you can go. It says in a world of chaos there is certain sweetness in the calm of a silent storm. In a world of drama there are the Goodwill Hunters and the Goodwill Hunting. There are the Shakespeares and It's Not Your Fault, Will, It's Not Your Fault. Both hold up. In a world of comedy, there are the laughing stocks. In a world of democracy, there are the gunshots. In a world of capitalism, there's the anarchists. In a world of devils, there's the Eucharist. In a world of nonsense, there's a theory of everything. In a world of deli slices, there are sandwich tins. In the world of books, there's the Bible. And Tools of Titans. Both books written, looking at things different, with a whole lot of people saying a whole lot of things. In a song like Bohemian Rhapsody, there's the silence of piano keys. And the manic screams of Freddie Mercury. The crescendo of the chorus, the broken down ballad, the thunderous lyrics begging for forgiveness. In a world of Freddie Mercury, this world, there is so much that in a world cannot contain. It's a beautiful sentence because there is so much in a world. They're dancing. There are bears. And there are dancing bears. And there are apples and pears. And hip-hop aficionados. And there are pianos in basements. And there are bullets everywhere. There are macros and edits of poems sitting in solitaire. There's a medicine withdrawal in my system, and chaos lying dormant like a lioness or a society of guns. Where it's really the police that need re-education. To bring community peace, we need to police the police. Teach CIT with positivity by building up our mental health community. Understanding schizophrenia. Listen to a dead Kennedy speak the words of wisdom from his complex. Not a message complex, but straight like a bullet to the head. In a world with fresh fruit lie with rotten vegetables, we habitually kill the poor. That was kill the poor a little bit. And in this world, there's so much beauty that outweighs the ugly. So much blood pulsing through our collective bodies. So much energy to fix it all if we want to. So in a world of me and you, us and them, they, us, him, her, black, white, rich, poor, Democrat, Republican, advocate, lobbyist, protests, car bombs, flags half mast, flags half stand, McDonald's fries and shakes and lullabies. In a world of bullets and macros, pens and camera lenses, freaks and geeks and apatows in Pleasantville's, in Shawshank's Wonderlands and Magicians, in environmentalism and advocacy, in beauty and tragedy, in libraries and museums, in communism and taxes and shell-shocked veterans, in broken watches and neighborhood watches, dilated peoples frustrated and lakes man-made, in man-made slaves and trafficked kids, in being a kid and being trafficked. What America are you going to do? In this world of bombs, napalm, death, and psalms, in a world of grass being grown, rice being thrown, babies being born, idolists and nihilists. We're not going to save it all in a day. But in a world, our world, you have a chance while you breath effortlessly exhales from your lungs. While your eyes are open for 16 and closed for 8, to open again with fresh lens, to get the fucking pen moving, or lose weight, or plant a tree, sign a petition, change the frequency. What are you going to do in this world? What are you going to do in this world? What are you going to do in this world? And now for something completely different.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. And whoops. And now we're going to bring us down to Mr. Ethan Mackler for a musical interlude before Deta perhaps does an encore. Maybe. Anyway, we can dream, but Deta's probably tired. She just performed her guts out. For now, we're going now to back. We're going Backler to the Mackler. Oh, that was so bad.
Okay. The reading of this piece is inspired because of John Wessex' piece on space travel. I wrote this about 2 weeks ago, I think. It's entitled "Get Your Kicks on Route 66." I'm sorry, "Get Your Kicks on Route 6 Eclipse." Stiff society's lifeless stare, the food they eat, the threads they wear, sphere in space. But man, it's square. Get your kicks on Route 6 ellipse. The pale blue dots just like a blip. It's nowheresville, it ain't my trip. Gotta find a planet where the cats are hip. Get your kicks on Route 6 ellipse. Swing through the spheres, then bye-bye Mars, the asteroid belt, then other stars, comets, quarks, and quasars. Get your kicks on Route 6 ellipse. Light years on and low on fuel, I eyed the gauge and it wasn't looking cool. The sign up ahead said beans and gruel. Get your kicks on Route 6 eclipse. So my saucer docked, I floated on in. I eyeballed the place. I was digging the scene. It was the galaxy famous's Clatow's Drive-In. Get your kicks on Route 6 eclipse. There were cats of all colors and they were swinging to a band. The big boss came out and laid down a speech so grand. It was Michael Rennie telling us where we stand. Get your kicks on Route 6 eclipse. So I grooved on up to the Big Bang Buffet. They saw my axe, that's this, and they asked me to play. I was itching to jam. What could I say? Get your kicks on Route 6 eclipse. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ethan. And I'm going to make one more plea from the
Can I ask
relatives.
Ethan? Can I ask Ethan what was the reference to that drive-in? I missed that. You're muted. There was a reference to the drive-in in your lyric.
Yeah, it was Klatow from Day the Earth Stood Still.
Okay, all right, cool. I like that work.
Klaktu Barada Nikto, which roughly translated means thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
It means please, Mr. Robot, don't kill me.
Yeah. God. So from the offices of Toni and Deta, is there a chance for one quick encore? If not, we understand, but we have to ask because we love you. And you're muted.
There's Deta with Toni Bee.
I see her, but she's muted. Oh, there we are.
I'm running on low, so it's up to Deets. Whatever she want to do. I'm trying to get this bad
I want
boy
to do another poem.
plugged in. Can you hear us?
Yeah, take it away, Deta.
Okay, go ahead, Deets.
I don't know what happened there, but I hope she's all right.
Oh,
There we go. Looked like you did a flip. There we go.
little bit.
Here's my phone. Pull up the lyrics for me for Molly Malone.
Who?
Just pull up lyrics for Molly Malone.
1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1.
2112. 2112.
Uh-oh, you're muted.
With that guitar that was play that nice thing a minute ago.
Evan.
Yeah, tell Evan to pick up some riffs.
You're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to hear you.
Yeah, then he can hear. And she wheels her wheelbarrow. No, in the streets, wide and narrow. No, Molly Malone. Molly Malone. Oh, Molly Malone. She was so pretty. She was a fishmonger, like her mother and her father before. No, in Dublin's fair city. I sang that for Mr. Biden because I thought, oh, cute old blue eyes. You may like that. You can tell. I love green eyes, blue eyes. Somebody said, you got black eyes. No, I get brown eyes. Oh, in Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty. As I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. As she wheeled her wheelbarrow through the streets, broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, saliva, saliva. I'm singing about Molly Malone because she died of a fever. She was a fishmonger, and to a sure it was no wonder. Roger, come on, sing. Irish people love to sing like black people. Come on. Roger is like boycotting me over there. Roger loves the song Molly Malone. Who doesn't? For so was her mother and the father before. how they both wheel their wheelbarrow way out down to the streets, through the streets, broad and narrow, crying cockles and muscles alive. She died of the fever, and no one, it seems, could save her. And that was the end of sweet Molly Malone, sweet Molly Malone. Oh, she died, oh, why no one could save her. Oh, Molly, Molly Malone, oh, Molly, oh, yeah. Oh, like in Dublin, fair city, oh, all the girls are so pretty. Pretty Molly Malone, Molly Malone. No, and she still will, her wheelbarrow, yeah. Oh, and the street, yeah, and the streets, broad and narrow, yeah. No, she's alive, oh, Molly Malone. Why no one could save her? Molly Malone, Molly Malone, Molly Malone. She died of a fever. Why no one could save her? No, but she still wheels her wheelbarrow. Oh, in the street. Oh, broad and narrow.
Thank you, everyone. And it's kind of fun. I'm gonna have to close out now. There's actually stuff happening with my audio, but you can all hear me, which is good. But I think we got all that down, and I want to cut the recording while we're still on cloud 9, and that can be saved and stored. It was a phenomenal performance, Deta. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toni, for all your help. Couldn't have done it
Thank you
without you.
for all your help.
Tech support.
It's necessary.
Thank you, Chad. Love you.
Love you too, Deta.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Happy birthday, Chad. Were you in utero when Stone Soup started?
Not even. I'm not close yet. But
Yes,
they was just thinking about you, huh?
Yeah, you was not quite. Well, you finally got in utero. You got in the right place. Boom. Crazy. You don't have to answer. Don't incriminate yourself.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to sign off now. I want to thank everyone for coming today. It was a fantastic performance, and I'm so happy that you were all here to witness it. I can't wait for this video to go up so other people can witness this beyond today. I really watched good on eggshells during this whole celebration of the 50th. I'm not sure where to go from here. I don't have anything even scheduled for next week. I might take a time off and then let people charge and then have other announcements, but we will see what happens. Of course, I've already let the cat out of the bag that I want John Landry to feature. Who else I want to feature? Well, I'm going to find out. I can put this together. If you guys are here, there ain't nothing I can do. There's no show I can't put together. And I hope you'll be there for that. However much longer I do this in this format or whatever for however long. Oops. I think I might be having an issue hearing you, Toni. I couldn't hear that. Give me one sec.
No, because I raised my hand.
Aha, I got you. I now figured out what it was. It's not the sound system. It's my crappy left headphone, but go on.
I forgot.
Oh, damn. Hell. Well, at least I figured it out. At least our sound didn't crap out like I thought it did, but we'll have more coming, more announcements. And Joshua in the background is doing his best Max Weinberg impression. Do you want to send us home, Joshua? With an unmute. My God, we really do have a Max Weinberg band forming.
Hello?
Hi, do you want to send us home with a quick solo?
Sure. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Let me give me a second. What?
Never pictured you as a drummer, more of an organist, but
I thought Deta was the closer. I'm just being a player.
I just want at least a little musical saying goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much. Max Weinberg. My guests next week are Billy Crystal and whoever the hell's popular this week in music. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Joshua. We are ready to go now. More announcements are coming. Stone Soup is going strong for year 50. Everyone do the wave. And we are signing out. Thank you so much, Deta. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Chad.
Toni. Thank you, all of you. It was amazing.
Thank you,
All we needed was you.
everyone.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad.
Take care
Thank
of
you,
yourself.
Jack.
Good to see
Bye,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care of you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you,
Take care of someone
Deta.
else if you can.
Mo, you don't visit me while you boycott me, man.
Oh, God.
6 Humboldt Avenue, man.
Oh, my word. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, Miss Deta. Bye, Toni.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon, Jason.
It was
I hope to see you again, Ethan.
It was wonderful. Bye,
Hi,
day.
Good
Dan.
job, everybody.
Hey, Carol.
Bye,
Laura.
Deta.
Hi, Blackbird. Thank you, Tony.
See you all
Hi,
later.
Mary. Take care, Joshua.
Hey, see you later, buddy.
Bye,
All right.
Cece.
Hey, Laurel.